Once upon a time, in a land far, far away. Nah, not like that. I'm only joking. But I am going to tell you a story. It's not your story. It's my story. A story like you've never seen before. But you want a proper story, huh? Then I must tell you something of my people and my land. Then you can see the story and know it. This land began in the beginning. Yulungur, that great water governor, he traveled here. Yulungur made all this land and he made this water and he made this swamp that stretches long and gives us life. I come from a water hole in this land Yulungur made. I was looking like a little fish in my water hole. Then my father come near my water hole. I asked him for my mother. I wanted to be born. My father pointed out one of his wives. "That's your mother," he told me. I waited until the right time, and I went just like that into her vagina. Then my father had a dream. That dream made him know she had a little one inside her. That little one was me. When I die, I will go back to my water hole. I'll be waiting there like a little fish, waiting to be born again. You didn't know all that, did you? Huh? But it's the true thing. It's always like that for my people. Now we have to find where the story is. This story I'm going to tell you. We have to go back long time. Back to the time of my ancestors. Listen now. I can hear them. They're coming. My ancestors. This wise-looking one is Mingululu. Then his younger brother Daindy, and then the other ones. Too many names to remember. That one is Jigger. Jigger talked too much, but maybe he heard something. The ancestors are making canoes for goose egg hunting. They cut the barks off the trees, and they talk about women like always. They make fun at Daindi. They know Daindi is liking the young wife of his brother Mingululu. This is first time Daindi hunt the magpie geese. There is many things Daindi never seen before. And there is much for him to learn on this hunting.
Nagawa ka makana. Yan ma. Yo, tin panjul kakal. Wabar nyanya. Wabar mage. Mari nyukung miyal. Mandin mi. Nana. Benar kan?
Mingululu knows it's true about the wrong feeling of his young brother.
Kini nyarbul kenak. Kamoy. May luri. Nyarabong ko ini.
The men will carry the bark to the swamp. Mingululu will tell Daindi that story to help him live the proper way. It is Mingululu's story for Daindi back then, and it is my story for you now. It is a good story, but you better listen, eh? Maybe you like Daindi. Maybe this story will help you live proper way. And here is that story. It is long, long time ago. Daindi is still a little fish in his waterhole. All the ancestors, that Mingululu, Jigger, and even the old sorcerer, all of them little fish in their waterholes. All their fathers and fathers before that, they still little fish in their waterholes, all over this land, waiting to be born. That's how long ago this time is that we are in now. The time that we see now is after the beginning. It is after the big flood came that covered the whole land. Look at that flood. You can nearly see it. We are so long ago now. It is after Yulungur, great water governor, named the trees and the birds and the plants and the people. It is after Yulungur gave the old ancestors big ceremony of the Jungwan, which give us the law we all learn. It is after the people learned to live to that law. After then, but a long, long time ago. And in that ancient time, there lived an ancient ancestor. This ancient ancestor was called Birrinbirrin. Birrinbirrin was a warrior, a proud one. He had wives and children just like we have now. And he followed the law, which is the same law as the law now. The stories of our people are very old. Sometimes they take a long time to tell, days even. Mingululu is telling Daindi some of the story while they carry the bags. Proper trees for canoes grow far away from the swamp. The storytelling must stop for a while. There is more work to do before the men hunt the geese. They must put the barks in the water to soak. One bark already soaked is put on the fire to make it hot and soft. The story of Birrinbirrin can go on.
Dalam penatame ngaruk mel lorkon kalau kumpul kan ya yo lorkon yo ni jarang.
The first wife Birrinbirrin had was called Panalunju. Panalunju was wise and she was important.
Main makone mea nyokoma ma buang ngomong mana maran baring.
The bark is almost ready. They must cool it down to make it easier to bend. Daindi learns by watching. That is the way we do it with our people. But we better keep this story going. Number 2 wife of Birrinbirrin was called Nawalingo. Nawalingo was a bit of a jealous one, but she had eyes that sometimes flew at other men.
Marin bangkai tempai mel web punya mah. Nyar pada kana. Madanak.
Ah, that number 3 wife, she was a young one. She was called Munanjar. Munanjar was beautiful one. She was quiet as a sleeping baby. Birrinbirrin also had younger brother, just like Daindi was Mingululu's younger brother. Birrinbirrin's brother was called Gulpilil. Gulpilil had no wives yet, and none promised. he thought he should have one, and the wife he thought he should have was Munanjar. It was not right to him that his brother had 3 wives, but he himself had none.
Bulyoknya ni jawal payerek ka mial mandin mi penjere khel kamja.
Kanyon benjang kam ngail mandani jagol pan.
Baba ngarjar mel karman na kur kenen ni nyeri.
Tiene ngibraren ngaruk ko gor kranya ging oral nenen ne.
The young man lived in Singleman's camp, away from the mine camp. They lived there to learn the law and man's ways. Gulpilil too lived in the Singleman's camp. Even though it was long walking to Birrinbirrin's camp, Gulpilil's eyes could already see that young Munanjar. His mind would wander off to be with her. Sometimes his legs would make his body follow. He thought about how to really see Munanjar. Maybe he would just walk into the camp and pretend another reason. But maybe Bonalunju's eye would be too sharp. That day near the camp was haircut day. Gulpilil thought maybe he could see Munanjar from a distance. The one who said that joke is Birrinbirrin, who lived in the same camp as Birrinbirrin. Birrinbirrin had 2 wives and a belly big as a mountain. He was always eating too much, but his favorite thing of all was honey. He would search for it, beg for it, sometimes even steal it. Ah, yes. I nearly forgot that sorcerer. The sorcerer was old and very powerful. He had good magic and bad magic. He lived by himself to keep his magic secret. Now watch carefully, because on this day I'm talking about, something happened. There was a stranger. Maybe that stranger had a right to visit this land. Maybe he had a sacred waterhole there. I don't know anymore. The story is too old. But that stranger had not signaled that he was coming. He had the smell of someone very dangerous.
kurkavalan baningangan, kurkamara banang gardong. Wawalan may jalan kurka gardong wa.
Lare, belengar kerinye. Kurbangun belengara.
The stranger spoke language Birrinbirrin could not understand very well.
Kira ruwene jiban. Uyel keban kurbulle. Wup marge. Wup kep marge. Lalle ruwene jiban. Mana? Pelengan manjen gue yang re. Melukro. Jele laiken marge.
When they knew this stranger was part of magic, the bones of the man were shaking. They did not trust this stranger with the covered prick. He was not carrying anything to trade. Now you can see the canoes are nearly done. Only one bark is left to do. Now then you can learn what happened with his ancestors. Some of the ancients wanted to kill this stranger, but Birrinbirrin didn't want to start a war. The stranger was given food to show respect. Soon he would be gone, but the bad feeling about him stayed behind. Far away, the sorcerer was listening in his mind. He heard the man talking about that stranger. The sorcerer came through the bush to the man. He made him listen to him. He warned them about the magic. It's not wise to leave shit just lying there. A sorcerer can do things with it. When the branches rub in the wind, it makes a sore throat.
Chile palma, Birrinbirrin nak laren mit.
Junggoy mabacan makmunin.
Man kung mulchim ko yanar kaman, yanar ka mulchim ko krema, yanar ka balagamban.
Bujurwin bentil mulchi.
Chino rin yene, yung jama nga bala japang repaban. Yo, maer kulp me, manima kaya kanya por marwar ngole, gerbala jaban.
Ada bicara macam jam aku berinya. Kita bicara banjir nge.
Yo.
Chino leje, mariol jemon le jaman me, yol je.
Then the sorcerer got himself ready. He looked all around the camp. He looked everywhere for any magic that stranger left behind. After a long time, he was finished.
Yo main aja gor belajo arpam gor belajo arpam garai arpam.
The men are happy to go in the swamp. It's hard for Daindi. It's his first time to pull the canoe. Listen to the man honking like this. Daindi scared of crocodiles. At first, nothing bad happened to Birrinbirrin and his people after the stranger left. Life for the ancient ancestors passed as it always did, as it had since the beginning. Birrinbirrin's wives behaved like wives always do.
Ya kara ke jalti balanya umale. Iya. Nah, mer na tuai.
Birrinbirrin behaved like himself.
Lagi orang bayar, kalau punya orang ni kiriman. Cara kerja kali ni, beri ni cara orang ni.
Awak dekat cukup kau nak kan apa? Kau cakap kan orang jalan kacau.
Boleh je nak. Cara apa kalau kau? Kau pulang ke mana ni cara orang marke, apa kalau kau marke?
Mulai nak perlu ngoda jotan. Mun guru ni mereka dah ini ternak kondi tong na, mereka jatuh kacau.
Ada kelak, nak kaya.
Birrinbirrin went hunting.
Kaya pun.
Nak kurang mawanden. Yang tu madu kawangan ngetam.
And the women went to get food, chattering like magpies. The single men suddenly went bush. They seen Birrinbirrin coming.
Koi, boleh jalan kaki, jangan berjam aja.
Ini melkale.
Mana lagi yang paling krem?
Ayo.
Oh, jangan berjalan, jangan berjam aja.
Bicara beli ngarak kau nyelek kado balik. Bil pokoknya mau kuning kau nyamere. Baik. Kalau dia pilih malah domba. Baik ini kenapa? Ngarak kau. Amilnya orang nyelek.
Nawalingo went with her friends to be away from Banalinju. And Birrinbirrin was making spearheads, singing a happy honey song. Gulpilil is trying to be tricky.
Wala. Suele me le camar se vea caigo. Ay le canang martian. Tarko.
Oh, bukan kau ni. Pada mereka merkap kan ni mem. Ni begini panas ni. Ni bre. Dah lagi merkap kan dalam. Ni gulpilil.
Galai ke.
Dah lagi nak panas merkap kan macam.
With all his family behaving like they always do, now we know why Birrinbirrin went hunting. But that Birrinbirrin was still a hard worker for his 3 wives. He was always trying to be fair and nice to all of them.
Why pun yang kau kursi dengan. Aku yang baru gila.
Even sometimes to the younger one. Can you hear all them gumang that magpie is? Soon they will go on way to hunt geese and collect the eggs. Dandy will go with Mingululu to learn the swamp and hear more story. And this story is now growing like a young tree that is flowering for the first time. Back in that long ago time, maybe someone done the wrong thing. Or maybe the spirits were angry for no reason. But in a way it was, the lives of the ancients were about to change. That second wife of Birrinbirrin, she just disappeared, like she flew away with the keys. The men sat down to talk about what maybe happened to her.
Marian Jamen. Cek kalur pulai Marian Gurman. Para bayinya dalamnya.
Arkengil nunjurume. Ang kami galalop men. Ang kami kune kayu men. Kayak pining bime. Ngayon jaman me.
Jangan kurman aja. Jangan kurman. Mari jangan kurman.
Nakang gulke lem gurpana ngayel uliin rejimiril kong miyal nawalengo gurien mari jolal wanjien ka jenma banyane panelunjo manajar belak ngerile.
Time passed. Life without Nawalingo became normal, even to Birrinbirrin. But then everything changed again, and our uncle came to visit.
Bokol pane ngari argopan, kandar mur ngari jolgome, wan gorang ngari baitan, bejai ngari bome, nyame ma, naoleng ngokan ma, ka uno ko ngolon bor, yuri nyalo ka belak, yol nge uno ko me nyen, naoleng ngokan nyame, bai anar gwal, karuan drane, pan bem.
Birrinbirrin was right. Nawalingo was with that stranger. The uncle's eyes had seen it themselves. The men decided to get Nawalingo back.
Tinjung ke, tinjung nyerpan ya.
Mayu ne, lemkan makan ne.
Marah kan makan apa? Main.
Jadi dia mayu. Benar janji lembar cakap ne. Iya.
Janji lembar makan.
Janji lembar makan benar ne. Mereka ngalim janji lembar cakap ne. Yol nge. Berok mar.
So the ancients made everything ready to send out a war party. Everybody was ready for war. The men talked about the planning.
Jalan gue lemar kapan?
Mana nyere.
Mana be?
Mana nyere. Kere, mana nyere.
Waba, jale bale.
Bet ni aja nama belum kau berjalan. Kita pala kali ini. Orang yang lebih berapa nak halak? Kama kare mang dalu kabri ni pininya. Almi kele mana nak meyal lemurgalan mak. Baru manilim kage. Jalon aja na jaka ngane. Nyone.
Yang menyan mana wer mial kira pelnya.
Parak, mare. Puluk mare nak. Meyal. Yota. Tujuan kak.
Nyenok.
Berkan mare nak. Jangan meyal. Kanyon manyar para bagaimana? Ada mana ke? Mel kuer ke ni? Mare, wo jamemak, kamu nunggu jamemak. Iral pare, mel kuer, anke?
Ada makan email.
Iya. Iya ngadi pun. Bagaimana ngai ngau ngadi pun. Kau dah dalu kibin nak kan?
I have to tell you something more about my people. If a man gets killed or dies, then his younger brother looks after dead man's wives. They become wives of his younger brother. That's why Gulpilil could not go. Only the young boys was left in single man's camp. Gulpilil's mind began to wander. Pretty soon, his body followed. He was thinking, with all the men gone, maybe he could come closer to Munajar. But he didn't reckon with Panalunja.
Kacuan den. Nada le cara de marche. Ngone mial kurmala dangang baru mare. Wanden!
Daindi thinks about Gulpilil and Munanjar. Their destinies were like butterflies in the air. They could go here, they could go there. Even the soft wind could change their direction forever. The men must sleep on the swamp while they're hunting. It's too far to go back all the time. But normal camp is not possible. There's too many crocodiles and not enough dry land. The men must be cooking and eating and sleeping in the trees, on platforms they're building. Up there in the branches, they will be safe. Daindi will soon find out what happened to War Party. Everyone came back safe. Not one angry spear was thrown.
Korop kung labinyang ang kawin niya binyanya mol korop le jamur jene
Iya.
kau nomor nyo ne amban mel korop kung labinyang ne yang bola pelong nge ngono bola ni
Yo.
wala ngono pala jamin mel kenal ngonye kum ngambul jene kapula jere kremban kaman metinya nge Gimana kayo makacay nabag ni? Makanoy? Alar. Pero kaya pala bimo. Kaya bimo. Iba na bimo nuka wala wam. Ada kaya labi ka. Kume bene wam. Nyalo mial ka gorman. Nangaling kan. Yen wurian ma ngaru kon mel la gorman nyalu yol ngoy.
There was nothing Birrinbirrin could do. No one believed him anymore. He became quiet and angry and sad. He was possessed by a bad spirit, like his proper soul been taken away from him. The trouble Birrinbirrin had was only just beginning. bad spirit that lived in his head escaped. That bad spirit made biggest trouble of all.
Wani jina musnal bra jalan berpari jakayu cul joy. Jalan berpari ini bre. Pernah yang kacin me.
Wer. Kau cakap mereka nyambung ke?
Udah ni berpari berbalas ni jaga. Jalan raya le.
Ulpa lagi ngaban curian. Paling jarak men.
Hai. Pergi berjalan mana? Pergi berjalan. Jangan yang luar ni orang kaya pun le. Oi! Ada! Mana kau yang ni ada? Kapan belum ni cari? Jalan kerja.
Apa aja kan? Kayak nyarikan kamu. Tahu palingan mana bang?
Kerman ke? Jergung aja ya? Mil temar ke?
Mama ya ya. Kamu.
Kere.
Yo. Di mana?
Orang berkir mereka. Orang bercara. Oh, ngarik. Oh. Jangan mang aja, kabar cek ngarik. Jangan jebak aja.
Bayangap. Ada Nabi ke?
Tolong kita bawa zaman me.
Ada kamu pai Nabi ke?
Jalan kejiban.
Awak kan?
Mar punya mereka kor boleh.
Hah? Itu kulihat kan? Kalau kurang kerja le. Kenapa kerja kan?
Nanjele.
Kulihat kan?
Mak. Mana kita berada di kerja jalan kejiban.
Lah, kung gabri ko mal ke. Gabri ngal ngal kapal ngari. Sama.
Cara mana orang?
Lah.
Mal kerja. Per.
Ay, karay!
Jangan jangan le.
Kaya ki!
Arwin kerja le.
Ay!
Per.
Kerja ngono ya bocor nyar penelaman guru menanjar ke Gerald friend.
Daindi is impatient to hear what will happen to the young ones. But the story is growing into a large tree now, with branches everywhere. All the parts of the story have to be told for proper understanding.
mokol menebomik
Mingulu keeps going on the same branch.
watak mokol
Those two ancestors, Rigimiril and Birrinbirrin, done the wrong thing when they tried to hide the body. They didn't hide that body well enough.
Kini hame, nyuna rawo ngumbume. Ye, kini nyungu pibijara. Nyuna jit chama yeme. Kanyuna rawo ngumbume.
kajar jerman guru jerap ma daro kanane janmel karan wah kan nyalo kini dir palma
Kalben jere.
yo janben jen nyalo kini dir palma pangar armar giano ya kata kung jenna yalo kung birin kung dir pal ka ngaruan margor and bulkin kuringen nuri parma kuringen argopal kanya kaitan argopal gujara
Nyuna rabo mongo mai. Rawang wei. Wange. Nyuna rabo me. Wei, rawang. Kai raya me. Ai. Wona rabo me.
At first, that stranger didn't believe Rigimiril. Rigimiril would not change his words. The only thing to do was follow the law.
Makara saban lam yas Kira kange. Yo. Nyana bomme.
Rigimiril could not refuse Makarata
Mingare.
payback ceremony,
Makarata.
where the stranger and his men could throw spears at him until he got hit.
Yo. Tinong gorbe.
As the two groups worked out the Makarata, Rigimiril knew he was in a danger he couldn't get away from. Night is coming to the tree platforms. The men sit near their little fires. The smoke helps to keep the mosquitoes away. They talk about the hunting. There's lots of kumang eggs this year. The telling of the destiny of Rigimiril must wait until night becomes empty of black. Now it is morning. The men go out to do more hunting of kumang and their eggs. Mingululu wants to know if Daindi has learned anything yet. Daindi say only thing he learned is Mingululu take long time to tell the story. Mingululu answers, a good story must have proper telling. Back then, all that time ago, it was also a time of goose egg gathering. Payback, Makarata, was to be this time, far across the other side of the swamp. Rigimiril was heavy in his heart. This time, Gulpilil could go to lend his spirit to his older brother. The wives were afraid they'll never see a husband again. Birrinbirrin could not go. He was too fat to cross the swamp in a canoe.
Nah, koko, every porridge, yeah. I get in your rang, try a carbon.
It was a bad time. As the men went out to cross the swamp, they were thinking of what Birrinbirrin had to face. Maybe that strangest mob could throw the spears good and straight. Then Birrinbirrin would have a spear right through him pretty soon. But that was the law. Birrinbirrin knew that law. He knew it was the way of his people. He knew the people needed the law, so they could stay living right way with the right land. And he knew he'd broken the law. Without the Makarata, there would be a bad war between the two tribes. There was no turning back.
Serius, Kal?
Yamu ah. Saya contoh gua mak. Liol kal. Mak. Wah. Karet Daniel Kurpanak.
Mingullo tells Daindi that Birrinbirrin needed Makarata partner, someone who would face the spears with him. The other tribe was satisfied whichever one got speared. It was dangerous thing to be Makarata partner. He could get speared instead of Birrinbirrin. Yet Gulpilil knew it and waited his time.
Birrinbirrin kanyalong kamak. Makarata. Kamari yun yang kamungon jenan. Hindi bukor kong eh. Bukor mak. Mok. Ngara ka mak. Wala ka nga. Ngara yan may kaya ko malakak kalwa. Mundur yung merk eh.
Gulpilil argued with the men. If he couldn't have any wives, or he couldn't have Munanjar, he might as well be spared or dead. Finally, Birrinbirrin agreed. The goose egg hunters come together to eat. Daindi is proud of his hunting. Mingulolo will go on with the story when they are eating. We can't wait that long because it was time for Makarata spears to start flying. Birrinbirrin and Gulpilil danced like ghosts between the spears. They danced so hard they were nearly invisible. The spears seemed to be passing right through them. The warriors from the other tribe threw their spears until their arms were getting tired. That's how hard those two brothers were dancing. But Birrinbirrin was not a ghost. His legs were human, and one spear too many came flying. The goose egg hunting is nearly over for now, but there is still some of the story left for me to tell you. That one spear too many had hit Birrinbirrin right in his guts. He was injured all right, but not so bad that he should die. The other tribe, they were satisfied. The law had been followed. Justice had been done.
Arnyong ora yul raname. Tena bachije gertada yemban. Maju kitso.
Birrinbirrin still believed it was the stranger who took Nawalingo. It made him too proud to let the men carry him back. He wanted to show the stranger and his own men he was strong and angry. But he was not strong enough to pole all the way across the swamp. And the blood that was leaving his body made him too weak to walk by himself. Banalunju knew the leaves to use to make the wound better. She knew what to get to make her husband stronger. The men are near the end of the journey. Dayandi is now interested in all the story. He waits to hear what happened to Birrinbirrin. Birrinbirrin did not get stronger. In his weakness, he called out to Nawalingo to bring him water. But Nawalingo didn't come. A bad spirit took over Birrinbirrin's body. He did not have the strength to fight it off. That stranger's tribe might have used some sorcery. Maybe on the spear there was some sorcery. Or maybe on Birrinbirrin himself. And there is only one way to fight sorcery.
Baik, ini ban. Yuk keluar bapre.
Wale jumbal tiyanare. Like and malara.
The sorcerer could do no more. He was overcome by great sadness. And the people know. See, they know. They come out of the bush from everywhere. They come for Birrinbirrin. And see how Birrinbirrin makes one very big effort. Maybe his last effort. Slowly he gets up. And look at him get up while he's still got the strength. Slowly he walks to the middle of the space in the camp. And there, near the fires, so that everyone can see, Birrinbirrin begins to dance. His own death dance. Soon the clapsticks will join in, and the didgeridoo, and then singing. Here the clapsticks start. And now it's the didgeridoo. As Birrinbirrin dances its own death dance. He is becoming weaker. But see how he keeps dancing until all his strength will be gone. Now he's getting tired. Now his strength is finished, and he lies down on the ground. Now the warriors finish the death dance for Birrinbirrin. Birrinbirrin is waiting for them to start singing again. He wants them to sing his death song for him, so that all his fathers will know that he is dying and come to him. Here now, they're starting to sing. You think he might be dead, but he's only waiting for his singing. See? See him move his hand like his brown Python turtle? See his foot move? That's to show he is listening, that he's going to die, and he's telling his people. Now he is lying there. His heart is still beating, but he's already dead. Look, look, our grandfather gone into his heart to help get his soul out of there. Even his heart is still now. But he wants them to keep singing a bit longer to help him find his ancestors. Then they must prepare him for his journey. They are painting the design of his waterhole on him. That means his spirit can find its way back to its waterhole. It will wait there to be born again. Now they are chasing his soul away, because sometimes it doesn't want to leave. And there it goes on its journey.
Pun jangan mah, najap melan.
Badak. Where ni punya jangon.
Daindi is learning one important thing for his life. He's learning to be patient.
Marjuana.
But you're impatient to see the rest of the story, huh? I know that. So I'll tell you what happened. Birrinbirrin's soul was just gone to his waterhole.
Mel, biar pilihnya manggur.
Ayo. Ginungo borene golki munyan nagurpan kabolo jinin. Uranene.
Pandang mede kagak pernah.
Prak prak prak.
It was not the stranger who took Nawalimu, and she did not run away. It was that Cross River mob took her. They traded her to a desert tribe far away. She escaped from them and took nearly a season to walk all the way back. And now her husband was dead. The men had to show they were warriors. They made a lot of noise about going to war against Cross River mob. But inside their heads, it was not like that. They were happy when Birrinbirrin came to talk to them.
Kere palam ko bije. Maram ga yor palam marben me. Birrinbirrin kain. Ajele palam ko bije.
There were days and months of ceremony of the dead. All the proper things were done. At last, the spirit of the dead man was brought back where his belonging was. The men are getting close to home. Daindi knows the story is nearly at its end. Some of the men go back to their own tribe. Maybe they meet again next ceremony. Or maybe next season of goose egg gathering. Finally, Gulpilil could be with Munanjar.
Pernah bara, mel kana bara nyame.
Kenapa lah? Ngajapin nila ka gua rale. Ya kan ngajapin nila ka.
Ako ner ko rale.
Mara dong dong uro daw lang umiyak marci. Ya ka. Marci punya kana ka nga
Ya,
da. Ya tukan nila.
Oh, apa lagi gini wae?
Udah
Yang gini. Yeme.
And finally, Daindi had the end of the story. It was not what he expected.
Belok ke. Belok gua. Belok ke. Belok kan lu maju nih.
And they all lived happily ever after. No, I don't know what happened after that. Maybe that Dainty found a wife. Maybe he didn't. It was like that for my people. But now you've seen my story. It's a good story. Not like your story, but a good story all the same.